Hello everybody and welcome back to how to build a village. It's more like a town because it's a bit big for a village now. But this episode I'm just going to be doing some finishing touches to some buildings, making a church and planning where the rich houses are going to be. As you can see here, I'm adding a peaked roof to add more texture to the wall and also to make the roof look a lot nicer than it was before. Roofs are very hard to make and very fiddly, so you just build two peaks at either side and you just build whatever type of steps, or you can even use half slabs and steps if you wanted to, across from both sides to make that peaked roof. But because I've got like a little bit coming away from the building, I had to pull the roof out slightly, what made it have more depth to it. And when you're building these roofs, make sure you follow the shape of the building and then build it inwards, and it'll eventually meet up, and instead of just having it one flat roof, it'll give it more texture and make it look a lot nicer. I then pay attention to the gravel path, add grass blocks, add cobblestone and add steps to it, just to give it little holes to it, just add more depth. Separate the colours, separate the texture, just to make it look a lot nicer. And I also made it look like it had been used a lot. I also made a pond, like a park, just to separate the colours a bit. I then added a little shop in the very corner and also made the pond a bit bigger and extended the path out to the shop. I then build a big wide path from the main entrance using the same technique but just a lot wider, with a nice round circle with a fountain in the middle, what will be leading off many ways to the shops, to the church, to the poor houses, to the rich houses, to everywhere. Now I didn't make this circle fully round, I made it look upsided, made it look like it was built ages ago and buildings were placed there so they couldn't change it. I also made this path look more nicer, a lot more maintained by only using cobblestone just to separate the colours. I also added a bit of coal there just to make it more texture to it, so it doesn't look like one flat texture. You can also make paths a bit smaller, make it look not nicer. It's a lot more modern, a lot more organised town. If you place two steps facing each other, that makes a nice road. But for this case it was more old town. That's more of a modern town style, but this one isn't. I then start clearing an area for the pub, a nice old pub style building with a nice balcony. I then add grass blocks underneath the windows of the pub, just to separate the colours of it. With this roof I use a light wood, not the dark nether brick wood, and I also make it peaked as well, and it's going to have windows coming out of the roof. I use wood just because it's a different colour, just to separate the colours so it's not all the same, to make it look like the buildings have been added over time and the building technique has been changed. I then go around and light up around the walls and every building just to make it look a lot nicer at night time. I then branch off from the main centre and then I build a pond next to the pub, and next to that pond I'm going to be building a church, and behind that church I'm going to be building the layout, the paths for where the rich houses are going to be. Whenever you build a pond in Minecraft, make sure you leave a gap between your pond and your path, just to make it look a lot nicer. I then move on to the church, what took me many tries to do, but I only showed you the final build of the church. When I started building this church, I used a very light block, but it just didn't fit into the theme. So I then just replaced the light blocks with stone bricks. I then added a gravel outline above the front door, and outlining the gravel I used half slabs around the edge just to give it a separate texture, and then I decided that it's too light, so I changed it to a darker brick with World Edit. I then go to the side and the back, making a wall out of half slabs, but then I decide to change it to a in wall game, the cobblestone wall. I then start digging the trenches for the path for where the rich houses are going to be, and then start filling them up with gravel. Thank you for watching, everyone, and this is all I got time for this episode. Next episode we will be building the houses for the rich people and probably some of the houses for the poor people. And thank you for watching, everyone, and bye bye.